So,
it can't 12-0, so that's dope, man. That's cool. That's cool. Well, So you done with practices and stuff for the day?
yeah. I mean, I'll probably watch some film later on, but that's about it.
Okay. So how's the coaching life?
How's the coaching life? I don't know. It's good and bad, I guess. So like the good part about it, oh man. Yeah, no, it's coaching is it's I don't know, it's fun, it's stressful, it's rewarding, it's stressful, it's exciting, it's tiring. Like there's so many different facets to it. Um and it's usually stressful because anytime you're dealing with people, like there's stress involved, right? And so anytime you're dealing with women, there's stress involved. And then anytime you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old women, there's more stress involved. And then you have the minutia of just scouting and recruiting and like meetings and academics and all the other stuff that has nothing to do with basketball. So, but it's rewarding because like you get to see people grow and develop, and usually it's an influence or an impact that you had on that person or something you taught them. So that's always fun. And then, when you're winning games, it's always rewarding too. So, yeah.
All right, cool. So we're gonna hop into it. Can you tell me your name, your title, your career title, whatever title you want to go with, and a little bit about yourself.
All right. So my name is Tiani Kelly. I'm the head women's basketball coach at the University of Charleston. I was born and raised in New York. Went to high school in Columbus, Ohio. Went to play basketball at the University of Charleston all 5 years. Stayed on, got my master's, and helped coach, and then moved to Florida. Was a coach down there, assistant coach down there. Took a job in Valdosta, was assistant coach there, and then here I am. So the short story of how I got to where I am right now.
That's what's up. So, I mean, come on, brag a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not good at the bragging thing.
Huh?
So I'm not really good at the bragging thing. So we're 12-0 currently. Currently number 3 in the nation. Yeah, what else? We've had 2 people that are conference player of the week. One should get national player of the week. I've been like checking on it. I have to keep checking and see if she got it or not. But say that again.
Is that Jordan?
No, it's Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, that's what I don't know who Jordan is. That's what I meant though.
You're probably thinking of Jordan that was on the team like back when Liv and
okay. Yeah.
No, but no, yeah, we're having a really good year, and hopefully we can finish strong and finish out the season with a championship. So
okay, awesome. That wasn't necessarily bragging. I was talking about, so I'll go ahead and say it. Sis was the first black female. Wait, has there been a black other girls?
Say that again.
Are you the first black coach, period, or first black female coach?
No, I just in the women. I think there was a black male coach for the men's team.
Okay, still okay. First black female coach.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive.
At the university. So shouts out to you.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. So you said you grew up in New York, some went to high school in Ohio. So do you think there's different parts of your upbringing or anything particular about your upbringing that kind of aided to where you are currently?
Yeah. So growing up in New York, like when they say New York's a melting pot, like that's pretty like 100% accurate. So I grew up around a lot of different types of people in terms of religion, ethnicities, just styles, all that stuff. And so I think that really helped me go moving forward as I got older, just because I can relate with a lot of different people. And I'm not necessarily a chameleon because I think I'm always going to be me, but I can go into any room and kind of fit in or hold my own, so to speak. So, and I think that's really helped me in terms of moving forward and developing and progressing and getting different jobs, because I've been able to, you know, build relationships with a lot of different people.
Okay, cool. And so I know we discussed a little bit about the history of female African American coaches, specifically at UC or at University of Charleston. But what is it like? You coached at a couple different places. What is it like to be a female in this industry and in the coaching collegiately? Coaching.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, it's a man's world still, always. And so when you talk about, you know, the support that you're going to get versus like being a woman versus if I would have been coaching men, you know, if I was a man coaching men, it's completely different, right? So financially, you know, they get more support, they get more money. And then one of the other struggles, and you know, I've been very fortunate that the people that I've worked for were very intent on hiring women, and hiring minority women. So but one of the issues that, you know, we run into within our industry is that males coach women's sport, you know, and we're on the flip side, like men, you know, it's rare to see a female coaching men's basketball, you know, like Becky Hammond is a dime a dozen, you know, there's not a lot of people like her running around. So but for us on the women's side, there are oodles and oodles and oodles of men that coach women's basketball, i.e. Gino, you know what I mean? And so many other different men in the industry. So you not only are competing with other women, but now you're competing with the male species as well. Whereas on the flip side, you know, they don't have that issue. So it does make it a little more competitive, I think. Like I said, obviously the support is it's lacking. You don't get the same support that men do. And when that hurts you financially, just because, you know, you don't get to build some of the stuff that men get to build. And that's from a, you know, a team standpoint or a program standpoint, but from a individual standpoint, for me, like, you know, the women's in different schools, the women's coach is going to get paid $15,000 less than the men. And like, that's like a big number that I'm just throwing out, but like, there's always typically a disparity between what the male, with the, you know, the men's coach assistant or head coach gets paid, versus what the women's coach gets paid.
Gotcha. Wow. So is it like, do you find it challenging? Like, I mean, I know you said that it's a lot more competitive, but overall, like, is it something that's kind of like challenging, or could it discourage women from wanting to get into the industry?
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I've been extremely blessed. God's been really good to me. So I've gotten 4 really big opportunities just on who I knew, you know. And so, like when I was an assistant here at Charleston, I played here and I played for Adams. So he just pulled me up, you know. Then when I went to Florida, I did not know the head coach directly, but my brother played at that school. He knew her. And so, you know, that got my foot in the door. And then when I went to Valdosta, I coached against the person that ended up hiring me. So, you know, I was very fortunate. And then obviously now that I'm back here, I played here, so everybody knows me. So I've been very fortunate that my path has been a lot of built on relationships. I could see how it could be discouraging for other people because it is a hard business to get into. If you don't know someone, and if someone's not willing to take a chance on you. So I could see how it's been discouraging, but fortunately for me, like I said, God's been really good to me. I haven't really had to deal with that.
Okay, that's cool. So, I mean, it seems like you kind of been in the coaching field since graduating, at least with your undergrad. But as a child, what did you see yourself being, or what did you like want to be?
Yeah, you know, like I think when I was in 6th grade, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play basketball at University of Tennessee for Pat Summitt, and you
Yeah.
know, then I'm gonna go on and play in the WNBA, and you know, and then I'll go to law school. That'll be my backup. So, but obviously, you get older, and reality hits you a lot faster, and you're like, Tiani, you're not good enough to play at the University of Tennessee. Sorry. So, I actually, going into college, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I wanted to major in math, Charleston didn't have math. So I went, okay, what's the next closest thing that we have to math? So I was going to do accounting, and I just decided to go the business route in general, just I felt like it more encompassing. And so I double majored in business administration and sports administration. And in my thought process the entire time was, I'm going to graduate and go to law school and probably be an agent or get into business law or something like that. And I took the LSAT, and I did decent enough to get into a couple schools, but I didn't get into the school that I wanted to get into. So as I'm like studying to take it again, I'm like, I really don't want to do this, you know? So, and it was late into my senior year, and like, okay, trying to figure out what do I do? So I was like, okay, well, I'll just get my master's, be a GA somewhere, coach for 2 years, maybe try to go back, like maybe train for 2 years and try to go overseas, or just coach for 2 years and then figure it out after that. And I actually did not get a job because I was a female. So it was at Urbana University. I was like one of 2 people, I think, left in the situation, and she emailed me and said like, hey, like I want to go with a male for this position just because, like, to have balance on her staff. So I was that's
a swoable email, you know. But hey,
and I really thought about, I was like, I could sue. Sue here. You put that in writing. It's not very smart of you. But I maybe it's just karma, or God, like I said, God looking out for me that I didn't sue, which I could have probably been rich. Rich. But anyway, so I just didn't get any GA spots. I also didn't want to take a year off to get my master's. So I decided to just come back to Charleston and get my master's and help out. And I figured I would do this while I was doing my master's and then get the heck up out of here and stop coaching. And that just didn't happen.
That's cool. Yeah. You not stuck. You said you stuck out there?
I didn't say I got stuck, but yes, I did.
It worked out. You up there now, head coach. That's what's up. So, I mean, you're successful. How old are you? 28, 29?
29.
29. Okay. 29, head basketball coach at a university. I'm almost certain UC is the private school at that. So, okay, yeah. So head basketball coach at a private school or a private university. First African-American female coach, all of these great things, 30 under 30. I remember that. Yeah. So do you have any tips or any secrets to success for women who are considering, getting into the industry, maybe career change, or just might feel defeated when looking at the industry itself?
Yeah. So, number one tip always is give it to God. Make God your first priority, see what he wants and go from there. But on another note, I think you've got to build relationships early. And also, this is what I try to tell my girls. I'm like, you got to play the game.
You got to finesse.
You got to understand the game, and you got to play the game. Yeah. I have some kids that are very strong-willed and very feisty, or just tough. Some tough kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It will go tough. So they want to bark a lot. I'm mad, so I'm gonna bark. I'm whatever. So I'm just gonna bark, and I try to tell them, like, barking doesn't always work. Like aggression doesn't always work, or so you've got to. My dad always taught me this: you attract more bees with honey than you do vinegar, right? So like, the nicer you are, the sweeter, quote unquote, you are, kinder you are, like the more likely you are to get people to want to do stuff for you and to want to put your name out there and help you out. And so for me, like my grandmother always told me, and it's something I'm trying to live by, is put God first and be kind. And like that is probably the best tip that I can give you, give anyone, is put God first and be a good human being. Like just be kind. And then obviously you have to have a work ethic. Like you have to have a work ethic. You have to have talent. You can't just be kind and think. I mean, I've got a lot of sweet kids that aren't going to get playing time. Just be like, you know what I mean? You're a sweet kid, but you're not going to see the floor. And it's no different with us. Like it's not like I could be untalented and just be nice and people are going to hire me. Like it's not the case, but in terms of putting yourself in a position to even be talked about, it's about how you treat people. Right. And so, that's what, like my advice, like play the game. And I don't always agree with everything people say. I don't always like what I'm been given or whatever, but I smile, I nod, or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and then go back to my office and talk to my assistant. No, just kidding. But no, or I maneuver around it. Like, okay, these are the parameters that you've given me. I don't necessarily like the parameters, but I'm going to figure out a way to work in your parameters and still get what I want out of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, play the game, keep God first, be kind, and make the game work for you. I think that's something that I've done pretty well. Like one of the things that, because we are minorities, a lot of companies, organizations, schools, whatever, they look to hire minorities for diversity. Mm-hmm. And so use that to your advantage, especially in this industry. If you have any sort of talent, like a lot of times people are looking to hire Black females in this industry. And so your job would be to make sure you're a hard worker, make sure you're kind and you're respectable, and you know what's going on, and then just put yourself out there and build relationships so that people can back you. I think that's one thing that's helped me, is that like I've had pretty good backing by a lot of people, for them to be like, yeah, no, she's good, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think that is my best advice. Keep God first, be kind, play the game.
Play the game. I like that. Straight to the point. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the questions I have for you. If you had anything you just wanted to share or wanted to say, I mean, the floor is open. I'm just kidding. I'm leaving that in there.
Black power.
I love it. I'm not. That's what's up.
No, I'm trying to think of any other nuggets I could give, especially for coaching. One thing I will say is, like, you can't be afraid of the grind. And the grind sometimes lasts a little longer than you think it does. Again, God has been extremely good to me. I've been extremely blessed. My grind has not been as long as some others. Like there are people that have been in the industry much longer than I have that are trying to get a head coaching position and can't, you know. So I would say, like, expect it to be a grind. Not everybody's story is like mine. But also on the flip side, like I also did a year where I got paid nothing. And then I did in my second year, I got paid $8,000, you know? And so it wasn't until my third year that I got paid a full-time salary. And even that was less than $30,000. So like, you're going to have to grind, and especially in this industry, you're not going to get paid a lot. So you better love it. Like, you better love the game. You better love building relationships with the girls. You better love the people that you're working around. Like, you have to love it, and you have to have some passion and purpose behind it, or else the grind, it'll kill you. You know, it'll wear you out. So, that's another thing I would say, is like be prepared to grind, be prepared to grind for nothing, and then make sure that you love the grind and make sure you love the game and love who you're working with, because you're not going to get paid what you're worth. You know, even to this day, like I don't necessarily know that I'm getting paid what I'm worth. Like I'm getting paid enough, but I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that's another thing that I would tell people that want to get in this industry.
Okay, cool, cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Tiani, to sit down with me for
Of
Women's
course,
3 months. I do appreciate
of
it.
course.